Hello friends, imagine this for a moment. You have spent years studying, working hard, and building your career. Your employer in the United States has offered you an opportunity that could change your future. Your flight is booked. Your family is already making plans. Then, just before your visa appointment or while preparing your paperwork, you hear that important immigration rules have changed. Suddenly, questions begin racing through your mind. Will your application still qualify? Will your documents be accepted? Could one small mistake delay everything you have worked for? But here is what most people still do not realize. The H-1B visa process has already changed significantly in 2026, and for many Indian applicants, understanding these updates has become just as important as having the right job offer. Whether you are applying for the first time, waiting for visa stamping, changing employers, or planning international travel, staying informed could help you avoid unnecessary delays and costly mistakes. Let's break down exactly what is happening, why it matters, and what you should do next. The H-1B visa has always been one of the most important employment visas in the United States. Every year, thousands of highly skilled professionals from India receive opportunities to work in technology, engineering, healthcare, finance, research, and many other industries. Indian professionals continue to make up the largest share of H-1B visa holders, which means almost every policy adjustment has a significant impact on families across India and the United States. In 2026, one of the biggest developments is that the United States government is placing greater emphasis on program integrity, security, and the qualifications of applicants. That does not automatically mean approvals are becoming impossible. Instead, it means immigration officers are paying closer attention to documentation, eligibility, and compliance with existing rules. This is where many people make a mistake. Some applicants assume that because they have already received a job offer, everything else will move automatically. Unfortunately, that is not always the case. Every stage of the process matters, from the employer's petition to the visa interview and even your arrival at a United States airport. Another important change involves how new H-1B selections are made. The Department of Homeland Security finalized a rule that replaced the traditional random lottery with a weighted selection system, effective February 27, 2026. Under this system, registrations are entered into the selection pool multiple times depending on the wage level offered, based on Department of Labor wage data. A position at the highest wage level gets 4 entries in the pool, while an entry-level wage gets only 1. This rule was already in effect for the FY 2027 H-1B cap registration season, which took place in March 2026, so it is not a future possibility, it is already shaping outcomes. For many Indian applicants, this means the quality and pay level of the job offer has become even more important than before. Employers now need to carefully evaluate salary levels, job classifications, and the overall position before filing a petition, since higher wage levels significantly improve selection odds. That does not mean every applicant with a moderate salary will be rejected. It simply means competition is changing, and employers must prepare stronger cases than they did in previous years. Another update receiving attention involves immigration paperwork itself. In May 2026, USCIS published a new rule tightening signature requirements, and this rule took effect on July 10, 2026. Under it, applications using copied, automatically generated, or otherwise unauthorized digital signatures can now be denied, not just rejected, even if they initially pass intake screening and are accepted months or years earlier. Only a genuine handwritten signature, or a scanned, photocopied, or faxed reproduction of an original handwritten signature, is accepted under this guidance. Importantly, if USCIS decides to deny rather than reject a filing over a signature issue, the filing fee can be kept, and there is no built-in way to fix or cure the defect afterward. This may sound like a small administrative detail, but small details often create the biggest problems. Imagine waiting several months, or even longer, for your petition only to receive a denial because of an invalid signature discovered late in the process. That delay could affect employment start dates, travel plans, filing fees, and even future immigration filings. This is why applicants should carefully review every document before submission and make sure employers, attorneys, and representatives are following the latest filing requirements, including keeping the original wet ink signed documents on file. Another issue attracting attention this year is expanded visa screening. The United States Department of State began expanding online screening and vetting procedures for H-1B applicants and their H-4 dependents in December 2025, and then broadened this social media vetting requirement to over a dozen additional visa categories starting March 30, 2026. Applicants in these categories are instructed to make their social media profiles publicly viewable during the review process so officers can conduct additional security screening. Some people become nervous when they hear this. The important thing to understand is that this is part of the government's broader security review process. Consistency matters. Information provided during your application should match your employment history, education, travel, and other official records. Most travelers do not realize this until it becomes a problem. If your documents contain conflicting information, or if important details are missing, immigration officers may request additional evidence or conduct further review. That does not automatically mean your application will be denied, but it could extend processing times. Travel is another area where applicants should be especially careful. Many H-1B professionals travel outside the United States for business, vacations, weddings, or family emergencies. Before making international travel plans, it is important to verify that your passport remains valid, your visa stamp is current if required for re-entry, and your employment documentation is up to date. This small mistake can create serious problems later. For example, some travelers assume that having an approved petition alone guarantees re-entry into the United States. In reality, admission decisions are made by CBP officers at the port of entry. Officers may ask questions about your employer, job duties, work location, or immigration status before allowing entry. Being organized can make these conversations much smoother. Keep copies of your employment verification letter, recent pay records if applicable, your approval notice, and any other supporting documents your employer recommends carrying. Another topic creating concern among Indian applicants involves visa appointment availability. Many applicants continue to experience long waiting periods for visa interviews and stamping appointments, especially during periods of high demand. Appointment availability can change quickly depending on staffing, seasonal demand, and operational decisions at United States consulates. What happens next surprises a lot of people. Some travelers assume that appointment delays automatically affect everyone equally. In reality, timelines often vary depending on visa category, embassy workload, emergency requests, and local conditions. That is why checking official appointment systems regularly remains one of the best strategies instead of relying on social media rumors. There is also increasing discussion about broader immigration proposals that could affect employment visas, green cards, international students, and dependent family members. Some proposals remain under review and have not yet become final policy. Others are moving through the regulatory process. This distinction is extremely important. Many online videos and headlines present proposed changes as though they have already taken effect. That creates confusion. Whenever you hear about a major immigration change, ask yourself one simple question. Has this become official policy, or is it still only a proposal? That single question can help you separate facts from speculation. For those already working in the United States, maintaining compliance remains essential. Continue working only under authorized employment conditions. Report important employment changes when required. Work closely with your employer if your job responsibilities, work location, or immigration status changes. Keep copies of important immigration records in a secure location. These simple habits can save significant stress later. Family should also stay informed. An H-1B visa often affects spouses and children as well. Travel plans, school enrollment, employment authorization, and long-term immigration goals may all depend on timely immigration decisions. Because of this, communication within the family becomes just as important as communication with your employer or immigration attorney. If you receive any official notice requesting additional evidence, do not panic. Read it carefully. Understand exactly what information is being requested. Respond completely and within the required deadline. Many successful applicants receive requests for additional evidence during the immigration process. Receiving one does not automatically predict the final outcome. Another practical tip involves protecting yourself from misinformation. Every year, fake immigration consultants, unofficial social media pages, and misleading online posts create unnecessary fear among applicants. Always compare important immigration news with official announcements from USCIS, the Department of State, or other authorized government agencies before making major decisions. If someone promises guaranteed approvals or claims they have secret methods to bypass immigration rules, treat those claims with extreme caution. There are no shortcuts that replace accurate documentation and legal compliance. As we move through 2026, the overall message is becoming clear. The United States continues to welcome highly skilled professionals, but expectations for documentation, eligibility, and compliance have become significantly more rigorous through the weighted selection system, the stricter signature rule, and expanded social media vetting. For Indian applicants, preparation is no longer optional. Preparation is your greatest advantage. Before submitting any application, double-check your paperwork, especially signatures. Confirm your employer has followed the latest filing instructions, including correct wage level documentation for the H-1B selection process. Review your travel documents before leaving the country. Stay updated through official government announcements. And never assume that yesterday's immigration advice automatically applies today. Let's quickly recap everything we covered. The H-1B process has changed through a new weighted, wage-based selection system in effect since February 2026, a stricter signature rule in effect since July 2026 that allows outright denial and loss of filing fees for invalid signatures, and expanded social media screening that now covers H-1B applicants, dependents, and many other visa categories. Careful preparation, accurate paperwork, and staying informed can significantly reduce unnecessary delays. Travel planning also requires extra attention because admission decisions involve more than simply holding an approved petition. Most importantly, verify every major immigration update through official government sources instead of relying on rumors circulating online. Immigration rules can feel complicated, but knowledge gives you confidence. Every informed decision today can protect your career, your family's future, and your long-term plans in the United States. If you found this update helpful, share it with friends, coworkers, or family members who may also be applying for an H-1B visa or planning travel this year. Stay informed, keep checking official government updates, and subscribe for accurate immigration news, practical guidance, and clear explanations that help you stay prepared for whatever comes next.